My manager forced me to serve beef to vegans. So I announced it to the entire restaurant. The steam rising from the pasta was thick, carrying the unmistakable, rich scent of slow-cooked beef, red wine, and betrayal. I stood in the pass-through window, staring at the 4 plates of Bolognese that had just been shoved toward me by a hand covered in grease and impatience. It was Sunday. 12:30 p.m. The brunch rush. The restaurant was a chaotic symphony of clinking silverware, shouting cooks, and the low roar of 100 hungry people. But in my head, everything was silent. "Order up, Emma!" Greg shouted from the line. "Table 12. Move it." They'd been waiting 20 minutes. I didn't move. I looked at the ticket stabbed onto the metal spike. Table 12. For X Impossible Bolognese, vegan. No dairy. No meat. I looked back at the plates. That wasn't impossible meat. Impossible meat has a distinct, slightly uniform crumble. This was jagged. This was fatty. This was real beef. "Greg," I said, my voice cutting through the kitchen noise. "We're out of the vegan sauce. You told me 10 minutes ago we were 86 foot D." Greg, the kitchen manager, wiped his forehead with a dirty rag. He didn't even look at me. He kept flipping eggs on the flat top. "Yeah, well, I made an executive decision," he grunted. "Just run it. It looks the same. Tastes better, honestly. They won't know the difference." I felt a cold knot tighten in my stomach. "You want me to serve beef to vegans?" "Greg, that's illegal. It's unethical. What if they have allergies?" Greg spun around. He pointed a spatula at my face. His eyes were bloodshot from stress and lack of sleep. "I don't care about their ethics, Emma. I care about ticket times. I'm not comping 4 entrees because we ran out of fake meat. Just serve it. If they ask, say it's the new recipe." "I can't do that," I said, backing away from the window. "I'm not poisoning people." "Poisoning?" Greg laughed. It was a harsh, barking sound. "It's cow, Emma. Not arsenic. Grow up. Now run the food or clock out. If you walk away from this window without those plates, I'm marking it as job abandonment. You're fired. No reference. No unemployment." I stared at him. He meant it. He was going to fire me for refusing to lie to customers about what they were putting in their bodies. I needed this job. My rent was due in 3 days. My car needed new brakes. But I looked at table 12. 4 women. They looked nice. They had asked me specific questions about the cross-contamination protocol. One of them mentioned she had been vegan for 10 years. If she ate that beef, she would be sick for days. Her body wouldn't know how to process the enzymes. I felt the heat rising in my neck, a prickly sensation that started at my collarbone and crawled up behind my ears. Greg thought he had me. He thought he could bully me into complicity because I was broke. "Fine," I said. My voice was steady. Too steady. I picked up the tray. It was heavy. "That's a good girl," Greg sneered, turning back to the grill. "Don't trip." I walked out of the kitchen. The noise of the dining room washed over me. I navigated through the tables, balancing the tray on my shoulder. I didn't look at the floor. I looked straight ahead. I reached table 12. The women looked up, smiling, relieved to finally see their food. "Here we are," one of them said. We were starving. I set the tray down on the stand. I picked up the first plate. I looked at the woman. I looked at the beef. I made a choice. "Here is the beef bolognese you ordered," I said loudly. My voice carried over the din of the brunch crowd. "Courtesy of my manager, Greg." The woman froze. Her fork hovered halfway to her mouth. "Excuse me?" she asked, her smile vanishing. The kitchen ran out of the vegan sauce, I continued, projecting my voice so the tables nearby could hear. My manager, Greg, instructed me to serve you the beef sauce instead. He said you wouldn't know the difference. He threatened to fire me if I didn't bring it out. The silence that followed was immediate and absolute. The table next to us stopped chewing. The bartender stopped shaking a drink. Beef? The woman whispered. Her face went pale. I have alpha-gal syndrome. I'm allergic to red meat. If I eat that, I go into anaphylaxis. Anaphylaxis. Greg hadn't just tried to trick them. He had almost killed someone. I pulled out my phone. I had a feeling he might try to deny it, I said to the table, my hands shaking slightly now that the adrenaline was peaking. So I recorded our conversation in the kitchen window. I hit play. I turned the volume all the way up. Greg's voice rasped through the silent dining room. Just run it. It looks the same. They won't know the difference. I don't care about their ethics. Run the food or clock out. The woman with the allergy stood up. She looked furious. She looked terrified. Where is he? She demanded. In the kitchen, I said. At that moment, the kitchen door swung open. Greg stormed out, wiping his hands on his apron. He had sensed the disturbance in the force. Or maybe he just heard the silence. Emma, he shouted. Why are you just standing there? We have tickets dying in the window. He walked up to the table. He saw the untouched food. He saw the women standing up. He saw the entire restaurant staring at him. Is there a problem, ladies? Greg asked, putting on his fake customer service smile. Is the pasta cold? It's beef, the woman said. Her voice was ice. No, no. Greg laughed, waving his hand. That's the impossible crumble. It's very realistic. We get that a lot. It's 100% plant-based, I assure you. Your server just told us you swapped it, the woman said, pointing at me. And she played a recording of you ordering her to do it. Greg's smile dropped. He spun on me. His eyes were wide, manic. You recorded me? He hissed. That's illegal. You're fired. Get out. Get out of my restaurant. I don't work for liars, Greg, I said. I untied my apron. I let it drop to the floor. It landed with a soft whump next to his greasy shoes. And by the way, the woman continued. She pulled a badge out of her purse. Not a police badge. A press pass. I'm Sarah Jenkins. I write the City Eats column for the Tribune. And my friend here? She pointed to the quiet woman next to her. She works for Cisco. In food safety compliance. She'd like to see your allergen logs. Right now. Greg looked like he had just swallowed a whole lemon. He looked at the badge. He looked at the compliance officer. He looked at me. Allergen logs, he squeaked. The matrix, the quiet woman said. The binder where you document every ingredient and potential cross-contamination risk. It's required by law to be accessible upon request. It's in the office, Greg stammered. It's locked. I don't have the key. You're the manager, Sarah said. You don't have the key to the safety documents? I'll go check, Greg said. He turned to run back to the kitchen. Don't bother, Sarah said. She pulled out her phone. I'm calling the health department. And I'm live streaming this. She held up her phone. Hi everyone. I'm at the Rustic Spoon. The manager just tried to feed beef to a guest with a meat allergy because he was too lazy to 86 the item. And he fired his server for warning us. I walked out. I didn't wait for my tips. I didn't wait for my check. I walked straight out the front door into the bright Sunday afternoon sunlight. I felt light. Terrified, broke, and unemployed, but light. I sat in my car in the parking lot. I couldn't leave. I needed to see what happened. 20 minutes later, a white sedan with the city seal on the door pulled up. 2 inspectors got out. They weren't smiling. They marched into the restaurant with clipboards. 10 minutes after that, the customers started leaving. Not just table 12. Everyone. They were streaming out, looking disgusted. Some were on their phones. I checked Twitter. Sarah's livestream had 10,000 viewers. The comments were brutal. User 44, attempted murder? With allergies? Shut it down. User_chef, as a cook, this makes me sick. Never mess with food. User_local, I ate there last week. I thought the soup tasted weird. An hour later, the inspectors came out. They taped a bright orange sign to the front door. Closed. Health code violation. Greg came out the back door. He was holding a box. He looked shell-shocked. He got into his car and peeled out of the lot, nearly hitting a dumpster. I drove home. I applied for unemployment immediately, citing constructive dismissal due to safety violation. I attached the audio file. Tuesday morning. I was sitting on my couch, scanning job boards, when my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Is this Emma? A man's voice. Deep. Serious. Yes. This is David Sterling. I own the Spoon Restaurant Group. My heart jumped. Was he going to sue me? Was he going to threaten me? Hi, I said cautiously. I wanted to personally apologize, David said. I saw the video. I heard the recording. What Greg did was unforgivable. It goes against everything we stand for. Thank you, I said. We terminated him immediately, David continued. But during the internal investigation triggered by your whistleblowing, we found more. More? Greg was skimming, David said. He was buying cheaper ingredients, non-organic, lower grade, and charging the restaurant for premium. He was pocketing the difference. That's why he wanted you to serve the beef. He probably didn't even order the vegan sauce because it was too expensive and messed up his skim. Wow, I whispered. He's facing criminal charges for embezzlement, David said. And the health department fines are substantial. But we want to make it right with you. I don't want my job back, I said quickly. Not there. I understand, David said. But we have a sister restaurant. The Green Table. It's a farm-to-table concept down the street. The manager there is excellent. Honest. We'd like to offer you a position. Head server. Hire hourly. And a signing bonus to cover your lost wages. I thought about my rent. I thought about my breaks. I'll take it, I said. I started at the Green Table the next week. It was beautiful. Clean. The kitchen staff actually cared. On my first Sunday brunch shift, the hostess walked up to me. Emma? You have a request. Table 4 specifically asked for you. I walked over. It was them. The 4 women. Sarah the blogger. The compliance officer. They beamed when they saw me. We heard you moved. Sarah said. We wanted to be your first table. You guys, I smiled, feeling tears prick my eyes. You didn't have to. You saved me a trip to the ER, the allergy woman said. And you stood up for us. That's rare. They ordered the vegan scramble. I checked the kitchen myself. I watched the chef make it. When I dropped the check, Sarah grabbed my hand. Check the tip, she winked. I walked to the station. I opened the book. The bill was $80. The tip was $1,000. There was a note scribbled on the merchant copy. For the breaks. And for being the only person in that building with a backbone. I looked back at the table. They were waving. I cried in the walk-in cooler for 5 minutes. Good tears. Greg is currently awaiting trial. He tried to get a job at a fast food place, but his name is radioactive in the local industry. The Bolognese incident follows him like a bad smell. The rustic spoon reopened under new management, but it's struggling. Trust is hard to rebuild once you've fed lies to your customers. I learned something that Sunday. I learned that just following orders is a choice. And sometimes, the hardest choice is the one that leaves you standing alone in a dining room, holding a tray of pasta, and telling the truth to a room full of strangers. But looking at that check? Looking at my new schedule? It was the best tip I ever earned. So, tell me. Am I the monster for exposing my manager and getting the restaurant shut down, or did I just serve the only dish on the menu that wasn't full of lies?
If you have made it this far and want to see more videos like this, then kindly subscribe and turn on notifications so you may never miss another story like this.